82! 82! 82! Church on Sundays, 82! Woo-hoo-hoo! Church on Sundays, 82! Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Are you watching these videos in succession? Because if you're not, you should. I mean, quit bouncing around like the person who can't focus on one thing. Start at the beginning, go to one, and I would go to one, and you know, watch them in succession because they kind of build on each other, and they kind of, what they come to my mind right now is that they're building something in you. But you got to start with one, huh? And then go to two, huh? And then go 3 and 4, and so on, and so on. You know how to count. Yeah, sure you do. I mean, if you're out of, like, Lace Kindergarten, you can. Well, yeah, Lace you can. You count up to 100 or 200. So, I never got to this point in my last video, and, you know, I'm one of those people that, well, you know, I go on Facebook, you know, and I read posts. It's kind of like, and then brain lifting and pain, you know. There's some funny stuff on there sometimes. It makes me laugh. That's how I justify wasting time sometimes, because some of it makes me laugh. Probably not quite as bold as that, but... So anyway, you know, there's this dude, and I'm on this, and again... Let me tell you, my friend, that there's only one God, and that I don't care to identify myself as any religion, even though I might talk about Christianity, and people might think, well, you're just bashing that, they're just bad. No, I'm not. I'm just... Christianity is a religion, and, you know, the one I'm going to call it me, and I haven't really found that, you know, I mean, if we got to identify religion, there's one God, and that we're all God's children, and yes, Jesus Christ came down here on this earth. It's the work of the cross, huh? It's the work of the cross. It's what Jesus did that it makes it important for you to understand and believe in Him, understand what He did. He came down here to be an example for us to follow. He came down here to be an example in many different ways. And you know, I'm quite sure I'll have videos that are going to talk about some of the things as far as that's concerned, but not right now. No, because that's a pretty big subject too. You know, and that's something I think, you know, that can really, we could go across on a deep level and start laying out the examples. And you know what? And one of the things that, you know, of course, you know, Jesus was sacrificed. And the purity of that man, gosh, I mean, there had to be a sacrifice for that to happen. I mean, to me, it almost even makes just kind of sense in a way. But the biggest thing about it is that Jesus still had to be obedient. He still had to say, okay, God, I'll do it, you know. Even though he knew what was going to happen to him, he agreed with it and went forward and was obedient with it. So, you know, I got to give a credit where the credit due. And so... Anyway, we're not trying to, anyway. I'm on Facebook, and this dude, again, he posts this thing. Don't I wish I could say names so you could go get this guy? I mean, some of you would. Anyway, so I'm on this, what I was clarifying, you know, if there's a belief here, I don't think it's necessarily a belief. To me, it's something that's just simply obvious, except for the people that are unbelievers. And then, okay, fine. But that's how you want to be that way. Then okay, I'm not going to force you or anything like that. But, you know, you're really missing out. Yeah. Anyway, and a follower of Christ. So I don't want to label myself as a Christian. I don't want to label myself as any religion. I don't care. If Christianity is because Christianity is considered a religion, and quite honestly, I mean, it's kind of gotten a bad rap. And you know, just like that movie in the previous video to this one, how Christianity was being, you know, forced on people almost to the point where we're going to kill you if you don't admit that you're, and you know, so this guy, he is always, hopefully I said, you know, one of my videos, I talk about, that God uses people to say things. And, sometimes I like to get in my moment, just kind of get in my little spiritual, kind of thing there, let God express through me, God, let God express through me. And, and I told him, I said, if there's one thing that I've seen, and we'll call him Ding Dong. I told him, I said, you know what your posts do? Because I'm on this Christian one, and it's one of the pages that I have that, I subscribe to. And this guy's always posting stuff, and he's always posting stuff to kind of stir the pot. And I sit there and I watch him how he likes to make his posts, and then he likes to see who's gonna fight me, who's gonna come out and try to fight me, and he likes to argue with people. He likes to stir the pot and argue with people. And then when he's got his little supporters, they'll say, "Oh well, I've been this guy's been helping me along, Mr. Ding Dong," and then they'll kind of support him and whatever, and then he'll come back and say thank you, to them, and like their name, and then thank you and everything. And it's like I told him, I said, all the things that I've been doing, watching your posts and everything, it's like you like to post things so you can start to argue, and whatever it is inside you, I don't know what it is, what you're doing is you've got issues inside because you're doing that. It's like you want to argue and then try to get with people and then try to prove your point and then praise the people that thank you to see, look, I'm winning this conversation. And and I said, well, what do you think would happen if Jesus sat down and he posted something? I mean, what would he do? Would he want to stir the pot and get people to argue with each other? I mean, you think about what kind of post would Jesus do? That's a good question. But and one of his posts was, again, because I know where this guy comes from, totally. I mean, and I pretty much kind of kind of stuffed him right down where he belongs, just a little bit, and he's like, in sharing your beliefs, and if somebody, and then just because you share your beliefs with somebody, and then they come back and they say, well, I don't believe that. I mean, aren't you guys really like doing the same? You know what it's called there? Ding dong! It's called conflict. It's called creating conflict. And to me, because of all the religions that are out there, what does it mainly cause? Conflict. I mean, seriously, here in our good old USA, there's issues we got because of radical Muslims, right? The radical Muslims out there have done some radical things, and so there's a bit of angst going on out there. But I know there's a lot of Muslims out there that are connected on a more spiritual level, and I don't even know this Indian gentleman. I was talking to him one time, and he understood it too. I met these two these two ladies in Kiev one time, and I think they were from Uzbekistan, and I was sitting there talking to him, and all of them understood that that there's one God, so there's even so there's Muslims out there that understand that, and that there's that there's a universal kind of unity, my friends, unity, because coming together as one family under one God, under we're all God's children, and like this guy Ding Dong, this Ding Dong on Facebook, even his posts create kind of like a divisiveness so that he can argue with you and everything, and then try to justify his argument and then fall under and be one of his little soldiers or minions or whatever it is, and oh, thank you, Ding Dong, and everything. So it's like I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is how religion and the pushing of religion and the pushing of beliefs has created division. Like in the last video, come talk about religion division. You're over here and you're over here, and I'm right, you're wrong, and no, we're right, you're wrong, and it's our God, and this is what his name really is, and no, his name's this, no, his name's this, no, argue. Okay, I don't really tend to think that what I'm saying here is any kind of belief. I just think really, and understand, it kind of makes logical sense too, that there's one God. God's family, my friends, my friends. Why can't we all just call him God? Yeah!